You're alone in your kitchen, and you drop a spoon and out loud to absolutely nobody you say, "Okay, seriously." Or you're driving, and you narrate your own turn signal decisions like a sports commentator. Or you're getting ready in the morning and you full-on argue with yourself about whether you locked the door. If you've ever caught yourself talking out loud with no one around and felt a flicker of embarrassment, like maybe that's a sign something's a little off, here's the truth. It's not a sign of anything wrong. It might actually be a sign your brain is working exactly the way it's supposed to. Let's start with something that sounds obvious but isn't. Talking to yourself and thinking are not the same process happening in different volumes. They're related, but they're not identical, and understanding the difference is where this gets interesting. Almost all of your thinking happens as what psychologists call inner speech, this constant, quiet internal narration running through your head. You're doing it right now, reading these words in some version of your own voice. Most of the time, that voice stays inside, silent, invisible, doing its job without anyone ever hearing it. But every so often, under the right conditions, that internal voice spills out and becomes audible. And the question worth asking isn't, why does this happen sometimes? It's, what's different about the moments when it does? Researchers who study this have found something pretty consistent. People are far more likely to talk out loud to themselves during tasks that are difficult, unfamiliar, or require careful step-by-step focus. Think about assembling furniture with confusing instructions, or trying to parallel park in a tight spot, or working through a tricky math problem. In moments like these, speaking out loud isn't a glitch, it's a tool. It turns a vague, slippery thought into something concrete and structured. Saying, "Okay, turn the wheel left now," out loud forces your brain to commit to a clear, sequential instruction, instead of a fuzzy impression of one. This is actually backed up by some genuinely clever experiments. In one well-known study, researchers had people complete a task where they had to find an object hidden among a cluttered set of items, sometimes silently, sometimes while repeating the object's name out loud. The people who talked to themselves during the search found the object faster. Saying the word out loud sharpened their focus and helped filter out distractions. Your voice, even when you're the only one hearing it, works like a spotlight for your own attention. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because self-talk isn't just about focus. It's also about control, specifically self-regulation. Ever notice how kids narrate everything they're doing? "I'm putting the block here. Now I'm stacking this one." That's not random babbling. It's a documented stage of childhood development where kids literally talk themselves through tasks to guide their own behavior. Most adults eventually internalize that narration. It goes quiet. It becomes that private inner voice. But under stress, under difficulty, under high cognitive load, that childhood habit doesn't disappear. It just resurfaces. You're not regressing. You're reaching for a tool that's been in your mental toolkit since you were 3 years old. There's also a motivational angle, and this one might be the most useful thing in this entire video. Research on self-talk and performance has found that the way you talk to yourself, specifically whether you use I or your own name, changes how effective it is. Telling yourself, "I can do this," is fine, but research suggests something like "you can do this," or using your own name, "Alex, you've got this," creates a small but measurable psychological distance. That distance lets you coach yourself the way you'd coach a friend, rather than getting tangled up in your own anxiety. Athletes use this. Public speakers use this. It's a strange little linguistic trick, but the data backs it up. So next time you catch yourself muttering while you cook, or coaching yourself through a stressful task, or narrating your own decisions like you're hosting a very low-budget documentary about your own life, you can relax. You're not secretly unraveling. You're doing something humans have probably done for as long as language has existed, using your own voice as a tool to focus your attention, regulate your behavior, and talk yourself through whatever's hard. The next time you drop that spoon and say, "Okay, seriously," to an empty kitchen, know that somewhere in your brain that's not a malfunction. That's just how thinking sometimes needs to sound.